Baka makalimutan.
So, good afternoon, grade 8 student.
Good afternoon po.
Yes. Nika, can you lead the prayer first? Nika, can you lead first prayer?
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Nika. And who's present? Always present, Nika, and others are too busy. All right, okay. So, before we start, we're going to have a game. So, pamilyar ka naman, Nika, sa 4 picks, 1 word, right?
Opo.
So, meron ako ipapakita sa iyo. Ba naglag ang aking easy. So, 4 picks, 1 word. So, meron picture dyan na 4. Saan nakikita mo? May bumabahing.
Para pong sakit.
So, sa word na yan, ano nabubuo?
Virus.
Can you guess? Correct. Virus. So, relate yan sa ating topic about communicable disease. So, maraming klase ang mga makukuhang sakit sa paligid. Maraming mga factors. At yan ay tatapik natin ngayon. So, before that, can you read what is our objectives? Nika?
General aims of the lessons are for the students to discuss the nature, prevention, and control of common communicable diseases, mortality, and morbidity, analyze the common beliefs about the causes of diseases, discuss the factors that influence disease transmission.
Correct. Yan yung mga tatalakayin natin ngayon. So let's first, for thinking time. So you have a question in your module. So the question is, what is the difference of pimple and acne? So before I'm going to discuss this, Nika, may naranasan mo bang magkaroon ng pimples din? O magkaroon ng acne? Oo. So can you read what is the difference between acne and pimples, Nika?
The difference between acne and pimple is that acne is a disease while pimples are one of its symptoms. Acne is a condition affecting the skin's hair follicles and oil glands, while pimples are nothing but a less severe form of inflammatory acne.
In short, ang pinagkakaiba nila, ang acne daw ay sakit, disease siya. Ang pimples naman, ito yung simptomas. Are nothing but a less severe form of inflammatory acne. Kung baga, acne siya, implikasyon lang siya. Which is, parang ako din. So makikita mo may magkaka-pimples din tayo. Musla, di ba, namumula-mula. Yun yung mga ano lang muna. Hindi naman siya ganun ka grabe. Pero kasi ang acne, isa na siyang disease. Which is relate in our topic about communicable disease. So let's first read our disease prevention. So can I read it first? Disease prevention and control is a very important health concern because it affects the quality of people's life. Correct. Diba? Nakaka-apekto ang sakit sa pamumuhay nating tao. Tama ba, Nika? Do you agree, Nika? Okay. Continue. Communicable disease not only threaten the sick person, but also his or her family and the society in general. Thus, protecting ourselves and our families from disease is both a personal and social responsibility. Do you agree with this statement, Nika? Pinuputaktan daw natin ang ating pamilya para hindi tayo magkasakit. Dapat responsibilidad na natin sa ating personal ang pagiging maingat. Do you agree, Nika?
Apo.
Okay. Continue. There's a very popular saying, okay, with this saying, prevention is better than cure as you go along. Okay, narinig mo yan, di ba? Prevent better than cure. So continue. As you go along, you will notice that the disease you are experiencing or encountering can be prevented if you only know how to control them. Accordingly, if you lack self-discipline, then prevention and control of disease will be difficult to attain. Tama naman, di ba? Kapag pinapangunahan mo na prevent mo pa lang, is sa sarili mo pa lang, naiiwasan mo na. Can you give an example? That example, meron kang ubo. Okay. Alam mo nang inuubo ka na ng grabe. Hindi mo na piniprevent. Nakita mo lang, umuubo ka lang. Sige, pasok ka pa ng pasok. Anong kinalabasan ng resulta? Marami kang nahawaan because you did not prevent it. Personal mo yon. Dapat din, alam mo din sa sarili mo na, isipin mo din, marami kang maapektuhan kung papasok ka at may ubo ka, which is may dala kang virus. Okay, be responsible regarding on your personal health. Continue. Can you read what are the factors that influence disease transmission, Nika?
Environmental factors, sanitation and
Sanitation.
facilities can affect the transmission of diseases where food and water can become contaminated because of poor sanitation. Population also plays a major role in disease transmission as well as evidenced by floods during the rainy season. These floods were the culprits in the spread of leptospirosis.
Thank you. In short, environmental factors. Marami tayong nakukuha, maaari sa pagkain, sa tubig na nakikun, maaari nating makontaminado tayo sa mga pinagkakain natin. Kumbaga, malay mo yung panis na, kinakain mo pa rin, tapos pinagkainan ng ibang tao, pinagkakainan mo rin. So dapat, in a way na makukuha to, environmental factors, maraming pwedeng makukuha sa environment, sa kapaligiran, not only for the social. So susunod naman, it's about social economic factors. Can you read, Nika, what is social economic factors?
Social economic factors, cultural practices influence disease transmission. For instance, there are some places in the Cordilleras where people drink wine after a tiring day of planting, and when drinking, they use one glass to show unity. I also experienced similar practice observed by the Ilocanos, and that is washing the hands in one basin before eating. Another way of transmitting disease is through living arrangement where a group of people live near their livestock.
Correct. So meron din social economic factors. Halimbawa, dito, naranasan niya daw na sa mga Ilocanos, kumakain sila na hinugasan muna yung kamay bago sila kumakain. So salo-salo, di ba? So another way of transmitting disease is through living arrangement where a group of people live near their livestock. Kung magkakatabi-tabi sila, o kunyari, isa-isang virus, di ba? Common, the term is, we are facing a coronavirus right now, right, Nika? So, di ba? Marami ding, sa virus, meron tayong tinatawag na quarantine. So, kunyari, nag-quarantine yung may sakit na. Nag-quarantine siya kasi ayaw niyang maapektuhan yung mga iba pang mga karatig niyang katabi. Kaya pero pag social economic factors, ito magkakatabi-tabi, group people live near their livestock. Paano yan pag magkakatlapit lang sila, tagpi-tagpi lang na bahay. So hindi pa rin masasabing preventive yon. Kailangan meron pa rin social distancing. All right? So continue. What are the types of pathogen? Can you read what is pathogen, Nika?
Pathogen. Many of the most common diseases are caused by tiny microorganisms called pathogen. Pathogen infects or invades the body and attacks its cells and tissues. Some bacteria, rickettsia, fungi, protozoans, certain types of worms, and all viruses are pathogens. Diseases caused by the direct or indirect spread of pathogens from one person to another are called communicable diseases.
Alright. Ito naman, so we're talking about the different kinds of viruses. So we've tackled about pathogen. So maraming common disease ng pathogen ito. May mga maliliit na microorganism na tinatawag na pathogen. So ganun din, it classify on the types of pathogen. So yung ganun pala, yung mga bacteria, toxin bacteria is nasa types of pathogen siya. So let's tackle about bacteria. Can you read again, Nika?
Bacteria are one called microscopic organisms that rank among the most widespread of living things. Some are small that a single grain of soil may contain over 100 million of them. Some bacteria digest non-living food materials such as milk and meat. These organisms are called saprophytes. If the food supply is a living plant or animal, the microorganism is called a parasite. The plant or animal that the parasite feeds on is called the host.
Okay, thank you. So yan, meron din yan na maraming klase ng bacteria. Mas mostly nakikita natin yan. Kumbaga ang bacteria or germs ay similar lang naman. So bacteria, makikita na natin yan mostly, di ba? Pag sa katawan din, may mga bacteria. Bacteria from skin, bacteria from the food, bacteria for digestion, di ba? Yung mga kumbaga nagda-digest tayo, meron din bacteria sa dagat. They have a called microscopic organism. So let's tackle about toxin bacteria. I will read it. Toxin bacteria produce a certain poison. Botulism is a food poison. These bacteria live in the soil. Once they enter the body through a wound, they can cause tetanus or lockjaw. Other bacteria cause pneumonia. So ito naman toxin bacteria, the word toxin, nakaka-toxic. Wherein, especially sa katawan natin, sa mga sugat, di ba? Pag mga bacteria, pag nangyari, na-toxic ka, alam mo na ito mga example ng toxics. Yung mga yung mga bakal, do you encounter yung nasugat ka, Nika? Yung sa may bakal na may kalawang na?
Apa.
Yan. That's one example of tetanus. Matetanus ka dahil sa kalawang or lockjaw. So, do you understand now what is toxin bacteria, Nika?
Apa.
Okay, let's proceed to the resident bacteria. Now, you read again, Nika.
Resident bacteria lives in the human mouth, intestines, and on our skin. This helps protect us from harmful bacteria, lactobacilli, found in the gastrointestinal tract. Produce lactic acid from simple carbohydrates, coliform bacilli. Found in the intestines help break down carbohydrates and combat diseases causing bacteria.
Okay. Ito naman resident bacteria, mas makikita natin to sa nabubuhay sa ating bibig, sa intestine natin, sa balat natin. Mostly ito may bacteria, mga microscopic. Ito naman, hindi naman ito makikita ng totally na nakikita mo yung bacteria. Nakikita to through microscopic. Tama, correct, Nika? Alam mo ba yung nakakita ka na yung parang horoscope, telescope, yung parang sa digitalized na mechanical ng mga scientists? Doon nila nakikita tong resident bacteria. So, this is the kind of bacteria within our body, which is specified mouth, intestine, and our skin. So, let's tackle about rickettsia. What is rickettsia, Nika? Can you read again?
Rickettsia are organisms that are considered intermediate. That is somewhere between a virus and a bacterium. Most of them grow in the intestinal tracts of insects, which carry them to their human hosts. Cetacea requires living cells in order to grow and multiply. Blood-sucking insects such as lice, mites, and ticks carry rickettsia to humans. Typhus fever or Rocky Mountain spotted fever are diseases caused on these organisms.
Correct. Ito naman, hindi naman mostly nakikita sa atin. Rickettsia is organism which is on between the virus and bacterium. Mostly, ito lumalaki ito sa mga insekto. Ito naman kapag ito gawa sa mga di ba pag kunyari may nakita kang namatay na insekto, yung mga bacteria na kumakain hanggang unti-unti siya nabubulok, yun, it's called rickettsias. So, let's proceed to the virus. Ito, kilala mo ang virus. Can you read what is virus, Nika?
Viruses are small, simple, lifelike forms from 1/2 to 100 the sizes of a bacteria. These organisms are the human body's worst enemy. All viruses are parasites. Cold viruses enter the respiratory system. Viral hepatitis is caused by virus that affects the liver. Mumps and the mononucleosis are caused by viruses that infect glandular tissues, smallpox, chickenpox, shingles.
And mamaya na lang yan. Continuous tayo. Okay, thank you. Virus. Kilala natin yung virus. Ito yung mga small, simple like forms of from kalahati daw o size, bacteria. Mostly ito, nakikita natin to sa, yung mga specify natin. Sipon. Yan, sipon. Bahing. Mostly dyan kumbaga tirahan ng virus. May mostly virus din sa katawan, yung mga infectious disease, body worst enemies, kumbaga kalaban ng katawan natin. These organisms are human body's worst enemies. All viruses are parasites. Kumbaga, itong virus na ito nakaka-apekto siya, nabibigay ng kumbaga sa immune natin, siya yung kalaban niya. Okay. Continuous, what is fungi?
Fungi are simple organisms that cannot make their own food. Many lives on dead animals, insects, and leaves. Fungi are therefore saprophytes. They prefer dark, damp environments. Two of most common fungi are yeast and mushroom. Diseases producing fungi invade mainly deep tissues of the nails, the hair, nails, and skin. Fungi causes the infections of the scalp, such as a ringworm, and on the feet, such as Adlis foot.
Okay, thank you. Fungi. Nakakita ka ba na ng fungi? Yung parang disease, yung parang sa scalp natin yung, ito kasi, din kasi kinds of pathogen na rin din to Wherein, nakikita din mostly sa common fungi are yeast of mushroom and deep tissues like sa skin natin, hair, nail, kumbaga yung alam mo dito yung parang nagkakasugat-sugat. Isa din yan, kumbaga diyan nakakatira yung fungi. So yun, hindi natin elaborate ko pang mabuti. Such as athlete foot. So sa mga nakita mostly yan sa mga atleta. Yung isa pa din na fungi din yung kasi sa mga athlete kasi takbo sila ng takbo, ganyan. Masyado silang nakapaa, ganon. Kaya mostly makikita mo yung parang nangangatis na skitchy sa kanilang balat mostly and sa scalp. And what is protozoans? Nika, can you read again?
Are single cells that are larger than bacteria and have more complex cellular structure. Most of these are harmless and they are most common in tropical areas that have poor sanitation. They cause malaria, African sleeping sickness, and amoebic dysentery, a severe intestinal infection.
Correct. Ito naman grabe na tong putozan. Ito naman yung organism na kumbaga, African sleeping sickness, kumbaga, magkakasakit ka na, grabe na yung, severe na yung intestinal infection mo. So, hindi ko na ito mailalaborate. So, it is kind of type of pathogen wherein this infection ay grabe na, which is severe na. Unlike sa bacteria, we can prevent it. This putozan is mostly, marami ka ng symptoms na ma-encounter, which is putozans. Nakikita to sa hindi. So like this picture, ang itsura niya is makikita mo para siyang whitey tapos may red sa gitna. Ganyan yung itsura ng putozans. So parasitic worm. What is a worm? Can you read, Nika, again?
Worm is classified as a parasite. A parasite is a disease-causing organism that lives on humans or another animal and derives its nourishment from its host. The word helminth is derived from the Greek helmis, worm. Helminthology is the study of parasitic worms, common helminths, and the other problems they cause include the following. Roundworms. Roundworms hatch and live in the intestines. Symptoms of their presence include fatigue, weight loss, irritability, poor appetite, abdominal pain, and diarrhea. Treatment with medication result in
about a week. Okay, thank you.
In a cure of about a week.
Correct. Ito naman tawag dito, the word hell means nagsimula sa Greek ang worm. Helminthology ang tawag sa mga taong tumitingin sa mga parasitic worms. So hindi naman tayo siguro sa mga scientists, mostly ang tawag nila sa helminthology ay yung mga taong nag-aaral ng mga parasitic worms. Na commonly yung mga sumusunod na worm na nakikita ng mga scientists ay roundworm. So ano ba itong roundworms? Hatch and live in the intestine. Ang simptomas na daw nito ay fatigue, pagkabawas agad ng timbang, irritability, mahinang parang nahinaan kang kumain, pagsasakit ng tiyan, at pagtatae. Okay? Ano pa yung other worms ng parasitic? Can you read what is pinworms, Mika?
Pinworms, also called seedworms and threadworms, pinworms hatch and live primarily in the intestines. Symptoms of their presence include anal itching, pale skin, stomach discomfort. If pinworms enter the vagina, discharge and itching may develop.
Thank you. What do you understand with these pinworms naman, Nika? Can you share your own idea about these pinworms?
Napag umano po siya, nag-hatch po siya sa intestine mo eh. Para po magkakano siya. Yung symptoms niya ay itching, pale skin, and stomach discomfort.
Tama.
Tapos po pag sa babae naman daw po, tapos nag-enter sa vagina, discharge and itching may develop.
Correct. Ito naman mostly, yes, sa mga sa vagina nila nangangate, merong discharge which in hindi na siya normal sa kanilang nararamdaman. Okay. Which is this bacteria is called pinworms. So I will discuss this Tinchina spirals. Tinchina spirals, this worm lives in the intestine and cause a serious illness known as trichinosis. Early symptoms include vomiting, diarrhea, and abdominal cramps. In time, a high fever, puffiness of the face, and muscle pain develop. Eventually, the worms penetrate the muscles, the heart, and the brain and can cause death. Treatment with anti-worm drugs such as thiabendazole. Yes, ito yung gamot. So, tianjot, makikita mo yung picture, para siyang, grabe yung bulate, para siyang bulate. Para siyang spiral, right? Ano pa na mapapansin mo? Yung symptoms din nito, pag susuka, kapag meron ka ng ganitong sa katawan, meron ka din pagtatae, syempre nga, transient spirals. Mostly ito is, if I'm not mistaken, abdominal cramps. Pero ano ka, ito na yung bulate. Transient spiralis. Ito pala yung tawag na sa transient spiralis. Yun yung bulate na lumalabas. Mostly, commonly, ang lumalabas sa mga bulate sa mga bata. Hindi naman sa mga adult na. Within the age of, according to my research, sa edad na 1 to 5, meron pa rin mga bulati mga bata. Bakit? Kasi sa mga kinakain nila. Tapos hindi sila malinis sa kanilang mga personal hygienes. Like, yung mga nangungut pa rin sila ng mga kuko nila. Andyan pa rin mga bacteria kasi. And then, yung mga kinakain ng mga bata, which is these transient spiralis, parang meron silang ganito na nilalabas. Pero naman, natitreatment naman ito sa gamot na mga binibigay ng mga concerned doctors, which is sila ang mga nagme-medicate. Okay, what is tapeworm naman? Nika, can you read what is tapeworm?
Tapeworm lives in the intestine. Symptoms of their presence are usually absent. However, some patients experience abdominal pain, fatigue, weight loss, and diarrhea.
Correct. Tapeworm naman ito, mostly nakikita ito sa intestine natin. Ang sintomas nito usually pananakit ng tiyan, masakit ang ulo, pagkawala na agad ng timbang, at pagkatae. Okay, fluke naman.
Flukes live in different locations in the body, including the intestines, bladder, rectum, liver, spleen, lungs, and veins. Most infected persons experience no symptoms. However, some infected persons may experience rash, itching, muscle aches, coughing, chills, and fever. In time, the repeated infections can damage the liver, bladder, intestines, and lungs. In rare cases, can invade the spinal cord or brain and causes seizure and paralysis. Fluke-caused illness are classified as
Schistosomiasis. Sige. Schistosomiasis. Kaya mo yan. Schistosomiasis.
Schistosomiasis.
Correct. Also called bilharziasis.
Bilharziasis.
Okay. Ito naman ito na types of pathogen is fluke. Ito naman yung sakit na classified as schistosomiasis. Kumbaga ito masyado ng grabe. Marami na siyang wala naman siyang ganun, most infected person, wala silang karanasan na simptomas. Pero some other infected person may experience pangangate, yung masakit ng katawan nila, inuubo, nilalamig, parang parang maaari din siya may ugnay sa mga simpleng symptoms mo lang. Pero ito naman kasi fluke, natitreat naman siya. Parang cause ito kasi ng grabing sakit. Okay? Now, we're going to tackle about mode of transmission, examples of diseases, preventive measures. So, can you read what is direct, Nika?
Direct contact transmission.
Okay, ito na mga binigay na bullet. Kissing, okay?
Kissing, handshakes with a sick person, sleeping with someone with lice.
Okay, thank you. Ito, di ba, pag contact mas mo direct, the word direct. Direkta kang nakakapag-transmit. Kanya, hinalikan mo yung kasama mo, yung both kapartner mo, hinawakan mo yung kamay niya. nakitulog ka sa kanyang balikat, ganyan. Kunyari, inuubo pa siya. So, direct transmission. Another example pa, foodborne, waterborne transmission, which is viral, food poisoning, cholera, bacillary dysentery, hepatitis A, hepatitis E. So, examples naman ng contact transmission, sa kamay, sa paa, maaring sa bibig, sa scabies, head lice, chickenpox. And preventive measures. Can you read what is preventive measures, Nika?
Adopt proper isolation for the sick, no human contact, keep both hands clean and perform hand hygiene properly, clean and disinfect properly the items used by patients. Do not share towels and other personal items. Wear gloves when making eye contact with patients.
Correct. Ito na yung mga preventive measures. So, with these following preventive measures, nagawa mo na rin ba ito, Nika? Na-adapt mo na ba ito yung paghugas ng kamay? Nadidisinfect ka rin ba? Tapos hindi ka nag-share ng towels mo. Yung towels mo ba, sarili mo lang? O sa nakikihiram ka pa? So, nagsusuot ka din ba ng gloves kapag kunyari, nawakan mo yung mga mainit, ganon, yung mga gloves na, yung talagang may personal hygiene ka rin po, kabani ka?
Opo.
Okay, that's good. Another, it is foodborne. Preventive measures, ensure all food is adequately cooked, especially high-risk food like shellfish, tama. Perform hand hygiene before meals and after going to the toilet. Tama. Ang paghugas ng kamay, napaka-importante yan. Alam mo na may mga proper paghugas ng kamay din, Nika? May maraming kinds of proper. So may first take, make a soup, tapos different way of paghuhugas. Hand gumaitos and extra property. Sick food handlers should refrain from work and seek medical advice early. So yun yung mga dapat i-prevent. Lalo na pagkapag sa mga hinahawakan sa mga contact o direct transmissions. So we're going to the next is vector-borne. Transmissions usually insect, mosquito bites, and insect. So marami ito. Yung ito direct, maaaring makuha din sa mga insekto. Mostly, dengue fever, malaria, Japanese encephalitis. Tapos yung preventive nito, kailangan ma-maintain natin yung environmental hygiene. I-prevent natin yung insect mosquito. Example, prevent accumulation of stagnant water. At ang paraan ng isang preventive pa nito, yung yung meron silang may tubig, tapos andun yung baso, nilalagay lang nila. Pag may mga bulate, makikita ka na, do you encounter, Nika, yung mga bulate ng mga mosquito?
Apa.
Sa mga gulong, yan. Naninira ng mga mostly na mga mosquito. Kapag yan, ang preventive yan, itapon yung mga mga anak nila para hindi na masyadong dumami. That's the way preventive of mosquito para hindi tayo hawakan ng sakit na dengue. Okay. Ano naman yung indirect? Ito naman indirect droplet transmission. Mostly ito socially sa sa tao naman na to, sa pag-ubo, sa pagbaheng. Influenza, common cold, streptococcus. Tapos maintain. Can you read what is the maintain preventive measures, Nika?
Maintain good indoor ventilation, perform hand hygiene properly, and immediately after making contact with sick persons having respiratory secretions, cover mouth and nose when sneezing or coughing.
Correct. Ito na yung mga dapat gawin. Kapag inuubo ka, maintain mo naman yung indoor ventilation. Dapat, the word indoor ventilation, dapat nakabukas yung mga bintana, tapos hindi ka din nakakulob. Kailangan, kapag sa mga mostly, sa mga isolation, I encounter this already because I encounter quarantine. Pag naka-quarantine kami, share ko lang, Nika, if you notice, mga ilan din na 14 quarantine namin, bukas sa mga pintuan, hindi kami nakapag-ventilation. Dapat yung ventilation din namin doon, isang electric-pan lang, at saka hindi din mostly gumagamit ng mga aircon. Dapat hindi naka-on. Sa pagbabahing din, kailangan yung proper way ng pagbabahing ay sa dito sa, okay, dito, tamang pagbahing. Sa shoulder. Okay. Airborne transmission naman, mga pulmonary, tuberculosis, measles, chickenpox. How do you prevent it? Maintain good indoor ventilation, seek medical advice immediately well. Anyone with symptoms suggestive of airborne transmission disease should be not attended school. Oy. Okay. Sorry for inconvenience. The word airborne transmission, ito naman kasi sa hangin kasi. Pag bumabahing tayo, ayan, sumasama yung virus. Ito naman, pneumonia infection, keep a distance at least on other matter of the sick person, or social distancing. For another, in addition, Nika, can you give me preventive measures? An example of mode of transmission, example of disease and preventive measures. Halimbawa, magbigay ako. Sinisipon ako. Ayan, Nika. How you prevent measures? Paano naman yung preventive measures mo? Can you give preventive measures? Sinisipon ako. Ano dapat kong gawin?
Bigyan po ng ng tissue tapos po gamot.
Tissue. Okay. Bigyan ako ng tissue. Kuha ko ng tissue. Tapos, takpan ko yung ilong ko kapag ipapangin ko. So, hindi dapat ikalat-kalat lang yung sipon sa tabi-tabi. Kasi nakaka-infecto social. Alright? Another. Sa airborne naman ako magbigyan ng example. Inubo ako. Ubo ko ng ubo. Preventive measures. Can you give example, Nika?
Mag-wear ko ng face mask. Tapos, pag ganun po yung cough, pag walang face mask, madala. Tapos po yung mga cough medicine.
Like what? Can you give a cough medicine? Lagundi, di ba? Ano pa ba mga cough medicine? Meron lang, there are different kinds of cough. May dry cough, may wet cough. So kung wet naman, maaaring siguro lagundi, Solmux, ganyan. Pag dry cough, Senicod, yung mga ganon, yung mga branded. So ganyan ang mga examples. So I'm done discussing. Do you have any question or clarification, Nika?
Wala po.
Okay. Okay. So it ends our discussion for today. I will stop the recording first.